Last time we played, we were in the confines, the property borders of one Irwin Revinowitz, the now deceased Golan County Coroner, who was one of the cultists serving one Franz Heimglimmer, who is now a ghoulish, undead representation of his once living self. He was at one time a doctor, a Nazi, an experimenter upon the unfortunates in concentration camps across Germany during the period of World War II. The party has uncovered and posited the way to ultimately help this demonic entity to his final reward before he once again uses Egyptian magics to retain a semblance of his mortal self, although in an immortal sense. One of his cultists turned against him. A woman named Jennifer Chapman was his consort and most faithful advocate and servant. She turned upon him as she realized he was promising different things to different cultists, preying upon what their deepest desire was. Hers was her desire to remain beautiful forever. Others, he glommed on their wish for power, for wealth, for fame. Others for knowledge of these rare incantations from back in the time of the pyramids and the Sphinx and the hieroglyphics. So let's just start off by going up and down the table one time and just seeing what sticks in the mind of the players. And I'll try to fill in some of the missing or forgotten information, as it has been some time since we were able to play. So I'll just bring up my Discord. And just from my left, which probably looks like my right in the recording, but Amai and Rosalie and Nightsteed in that order. So, from Ava's perspective, Amai, tell me what you
Mm-hmm.
remember. Let's get this party underway.
The last thing that I remember was we were scoping out a cemetery and to find something that um, Jennifer had asked us to check out because we were finding, I want to say urns, but that doesn't seem like the right word. But we were looking for specific Egyptian themed items or urns because they were trying to complete the ritual to bring back the shadow that I feel like we saw after Ravinowitz and the cop, like they went dirty and we fought them. I remember there was a shadow involved. Um, but that's the last major thing that I remember that we did, and we did check all that out. We were chased by some people. Sophia got a fancy lighter, and we were trying to figure out what to do afterwards because we had oh we went to meet Jennifer Chapman at her home, but we found that she is dead. And we did some Scooby Doo sleuthing around her house and found that I think she had a golem in the backyard that she was sculpting out. And we managed to activate it, and it was going to where the ritualists were to stop them from completing their mission. And after we did that, I believe is when we started heading to where we deduced everything was going to be from what Jennifer told us and from what we pieced together. But we had to kind of sneak in because it was a gated area. It's very fancy, very gated home mansion place. Last I remember too from that was that we were sneaking around and we noticed that there were ritualists in the top left building. And then we snuck back down to inform, I think it was Sophia, or Shep. No, I think it was Shep. We're like, hey Shep, there's people up there. And then the golem started crashing through, making his way through the pool. and, and that's what I remember.
Very good. I won't disagree with anything that you've said. You pretty much are right on. So
Wonderful.
let's move over to Rosalie. See what Sophia's recollection may add to the collective pool of knowledge.
Um, Everything she said, I did remember. But to add on to that, I nearly ruined the golem and just barely fixed my mistake at the last second. Otherwise, we would not have had this golem kind of rampaging through this backyard. So there was that detail.
I completely forgot about
I
that.
did.
Yes.
I nearly screwed us all.
I think there was
Right.
there might have been a critical failure involved
That's
in
right. You
in
were
that.
rebuilding it because we were
I
like, wait,
I dug
this
too
is
hard. I remember thinking, "Oh, this could be bad. I need to wreck it."
And I think you almost used the head of the golem as a soccer ball before you noticed that inscription of the word justice emblazoned across its forehead um, in the Hebrew letter set, the glyphs.
A time where my notice wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
True that.
for someone that's almost blind with ADHD, you made a lot of your notice rolls, and that's no mean feat. With some of the minuses and other mitigating factors kind of working against you.
Mhm.
So okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Or we'll move right over to Nightsteed.
We can move right on over to Nightsteed.
All right. What does Shepard recall?
Shep remembers the members asking Sophia to poke and see if there's a body in the golem. Because at first he thought that what's her name had done what she was supposed to and hid the body. But then that's when we noticed after the crit happened, we noticed the word, and he had to get on the phone with the rabbi to try to figure it out, and he kind of ended that phone call with, "Okay, see you, bye."
And it, just in point of fact, and this really isn't a key factor, but I would proffer that Ari Ben David is not a rabbi.
Okay.
There was a rabbi among the spirits that you have interacted with. His name was Rabbi Joshua. In fact, Rabbi Joshua was the ghost, the spirit, the specter that young Matthew Gray said was sort of like living in his closet and protecting him, and had guided his hands, making a child's version of a Torah or some sort of a scroll using like computer paper and charcoal and some art supplies and stuff like that. Ari Ben David is a representative of the sort of the American United States based arm of the Israeli. You know, what's the word? He works at one of the consulates, so he's sort of like Israel's representative, doing business affiliated with like United States and Israeli relations, a political post. And he had had some basic army training as well, and he was the commander above Ahuva Shapira, the unfortunate woman that met her doom at the hands of that risen revenant of Osiris that inhabited that Egyptian chapel, that cultish room beneath Frank Mann's, who was also Franz Heimglimmer, the basement beneath what was once his home before he passed on. So yeah, he's not a rabbi. He's not a rabbi per se, although he is
was
a good
just the only
source.
person we knew who would be able to translate.
Sure, he's a good source.
Yeah.
He's a good source. He's also been your benefactor in a number of other ways as well. Some that you know, some you probably don't know. But
and once we had that information, we did, I believe, thanks to Ava, found the um, ritual for to bring the golem to up, and we used the artifacts that we had found to basically give the deceased the justice they deserved.
that's true.
Uh,
The golem was, in fact, 90% complete. The ritual had been successfully cast. The sort of mannequin made of mud was fully formed. The only thing that you had to do was fill in the cavity in the middle
mhm.
of its chest with items that would power it. And those items were the fetishes in that one urn, that one canopic urn that Amai had referred to, and then cover it with a few handfuls of that soil and just gently tamp it down into place. Is similar to what in mythology would have been like giving the golem a big ruby for a heart.
Mhm.
And it was fully powered up when you spoke the word justice, which was emblazoned across its forehead in the Hebrew tongue.
And then after that, the golem got up and broke through
Yeah,
the fencing or hedge or whatever was around her house and
it's
went straight in a line. And we met up. Ava, I believe, hacked our way into the private gate to open it up.
yep.
And we pulled up kind of off to the side and then started sneaking around from there. Oh, and Shep actually looks like Shep again.
Yes,
True.
yes.
Yes.
The
And
race.
Erica too.
That's right. The race swap reverted a miscast ritual, making two of you
Mm-hmm.
become races other than your birth race. And that was a 24-hour effect from failing to cast a ritual, which did right itself and did provide the dean with much amusement. And in fact, if there was a time for it to happen, it really happened at a good time. It behaved in your favor because,
It really did.
yeah, you were hunting these cultists and they didn't immediately recognize who two of you were because they'd never seen you before. There
In
was
the
no
words of
report.
Bob Ross, happy accidents.
It certainly so, certainly so. So sometimes things just kind of work out that way. I'm going to step back and say, Shep, as a reminder, at one time you briefly had uh, a vision, a precognitive flash of being inside a metallic silo with many sort of rings, many levels, and these
Mm-hmm.
seem to have numerous glass growing chambers, each with a chupacabra in various stages of development, all the way from the small human size of the one that you encountered way back at the end of freshman year, which really was only arguably 7-8 months ago, all the way down to uh, I won't say embryonic, but very small, tiny, and barely recognizable as something somewhat is it lupine or lupin? I think it's lupine. Something vaguely wolfish, with its claws and the snout beginning to form. Each with various wires and feeds and tubes connecting to it, providing readings. And there was a nerdy-looking guy who had a clipboard, and he was monitoring them through a computer terminal.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we decided Nazi hunting was higher up on the level
Yeah,
above chupacabra hunting.
these flashes, on the average, are anywhere from a few weeks to a year or more
Hmm.
in the future. And as we have seen, situationally, things can change where the general vision is correct, but there are misrepresentations or misreadings or things that are just wrong about it. But generally, they're true. As the dean, I will say they're how things would play out if we went strictly by the plot point campaign, and I didn't give you guys so much freedom to just go off on your tangents to hunt stuff down, because frankly, some of the ideas that you have are just insightful and hecka cool. And I'm trying to remember what the Boba Fett, quote was. Darth Vader was looking at him, and did he say, these bounty hunters are my kind of scum, fearless and inventive? Well, I think you've judged to be both fearless and inventive in this up to the 33rd session. So I will bring up the party sheet, as I am often wont to do. I will reset some bennies for the players. They reset
Ship
mine
is
as
good
well.
with that.
And yeah, I'm kind of like looking. I'm like, where's this on the user interface? Where's that? Everything's kind of moved around. Various fantasy upgrades, fantasy grounds upgrades have modified things, locations
Hmm.
a little bit. I can still find them along the bottom, more or less. But okay.
Yeah, my favorite is just the side menu bar.
Yeah, they keep playing with that,
That
and
is
let you
that is a
You
big upgrade.
let you
Mhm.
shrink it.
You move it all the
Yeah,
way back.
shrink it, or just let it be wide. And I tend to let the maps and whatnot obscure
Yeah.
them. And I guess the one thing I need to do after all these changes is figure out how to get my black chalkboard background back, because
I miss it.
I did have it sort of. I had a line drawn, like boxing off the area that in the video is visible, because it's like the upper right hand to the viewer. It'll probably look like I've got my left hand up, but quadrant of it. So I'll just try to be mindful of that and try to keep as much of the map and the combat tracker and other happy stuff visible to the casual viewer. I do like to play and run a visual game. And yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it. I think my parting words to you when we played last, and it was some time ago, was the golem. You can easily, let me say that a little bit different way. It is possible, generally speaking, it is possible to defeat Heimglimmer's ghoulish form without the golem. The golem is just offered to those of you with the insight and the sort of the explorative tendencies to make it to the backyard and find it and deduce how to give it life, how to breathe that spark into it, and how to make it, I won't say serve you, but to serve a purpose that very much parallels yours. You did
That's
that.
just a nice way of saying that we're the people that go through your medicine cabinets.
Well, who knows what you might find. And the golem is a resource, sort of an ally of yours, if you want to say it that way. You wouldn't be wholly incorrect, but you know that as long as there are fetishes, these little items in these canopic urns that are still in existence, that Heimglimmer's ghoulish form is invulnerable. he is impenetrable to damage
Mhm.
as long as he has that tie to those spirits. Um, the golem can help to intercede on your behalf by perhaps uh, taking the fight to the cultists, but it is like a homing missile, dead set on the word justice, and that would mean tangling with the ghoulish form of Heimglimmer. Where we currently are, there is a golem sloshing through a half-filled or one-third filled swimming pool full of murky, sort of algaic, is that even a word? Algified, slimy and green pool water, and it's almost made its way across, and it's going to be trying to climb out. It is generally heading in a vector towards the rear of that beach house that had the words Revy's Retreat on like a wooden arrow, etched with a burning, like a hot pencil to make it like a scorch uh, burns.
Oh,
In a very
I
nice, I think it was perhaps it was a Mize player, or Avis player, Amai, that said it was sort of like a tiki hut. How the certain words can be like on a menu or on a sign that are kind of burned into a piece of wood, sort of like that.
yeah.
Very, very decorative. Where Revinowitz would have guests stay at this cute little house in the back, northern western corner of his very, very nice property. Very nice property. You are all kind of on the front deck, the front porch of Ravinowitz's main house, his living house. You've looked in, you've seen it was very neat, orderly. There was no food containers about. There is no trash can overflowing. There is no uh, recycling container uh, showing that there are cans and boxes and cardboard and bottles and whatnot in it. It looks to be unoccupied as Ravinowitz met his demise after having his face clubbed by Shep outside your off-campus housing residence. You're on the front porch. There is a door. There's also a door around the side. While you are on this front porch, you are pretty much out of sight of the cultists that are wondering what this big clay man is that seems to be approaching instead of going around the pool. Went straight through it. And I don't know if you can see those ritualists on your map. I wonder if they appear to be hidden. Let me see if I can.
No,
It's
cannot see
T.
them.
It's
Yeah,
one,
we
two,
can't
and
see
three.
them now.
Let me 1, 2, 3. Let's see if they look a little different now. Now I wonder if you can see them.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I kind of gave away that there's a fourth one. I'll say that through the window when you all looked in, that on the left-hand side you looked in and saw the kitchen where one of the ritualists was having his wound to the back of his skull attended to by the woman
Yeah.
cultist who is the German historian and language arts teacher at East Texas University. You know that she was a woman because of her form and the fact that they had their hoods down, while the other one certainly had his hood down because he was bleeding from the back of his blonde head.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of right around the front, and I guess I will start running combat when the golem is in a position to attack. It's going to depend upon what they decide to do. They could all attack it. They could go into the I guess they could go into the pool house, the guest house, and lock the doors and shutter them. And whether or not I tell you what's going on just depends upon where you are when it happens. So I will put the ball wholly in your court and ask you, in no order really, what you intend to do. I think your idea was to go into this house to look for one of the canopic urns, hoping to find some more of the fetishes to destroy, but you don't know for sure where they one or two remaining canopic urns are.
Yeah, I believe
Definitely.
that was one of the thoughts,
Because
but it doesn't look like there was any. From what I remember, the way you described it back then, it didn't seem like there was a great possibility that they would be in there because of how undisturbed it was. Since
Oh
he
yeah,
had
this one
just,
that we're in front of.
yeah, because they just sent out word to pull everything back within the
Mm.
last 2 or 3 days, however long it was when we first talked to her.
I won't disagree with you. You would find it likely that Heimglimmer, as he approaches the final ritual, the final incantation that will turn him from a ghoul to a living, breathing, and immortal man again. He wasn't immortal before, but to become a man again. He would probably gather those items of power close.
hmm And one thing Shep is going to say to the girls is, if you get a chance, you see an urn, destroy it, burn it, do something with it.
absolutely. Because from what I remember, we
'Cause
can't hurt him if all the urns are still around, right?
And besides, I know how much you girls love to burn things, from
That's
Not all the
Sophia.
to
time.
cars. You know,
Sophia
y'all
is the
saw set it
expert
off.
with flames. I
What?
hack things. Sophia burns things. Shep
Well,
is our magic wizard.
Shep
He's the
scalds.
wizard.
He scalds things with bouillabaisse spray.
Mm,
He's our
Almost.
wizard.
You call it burning. I call it a purification rite. So yeah, you're around the front. You're around the front of the building. There are. I mean, you don't have all the information, but you darn near pieced the whole puzzle together. So I think you have enough to make, you know, decisions.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember, but it. Do you guys remember at all if we had any other inkling of an idea of where the other urns could possibly be? Outside of maybe where the ritualists have already congregated?
I think we knew the golem was going to head there.
Okay.
So since he's here, that's I think where I'm assuming he's heading towards where he'll get his justice.
Okay.
It occurred to me as I was driving home from work today, trying to figure out how I was going to manage to kill you in this session, or maybe just
Good luck trying.
at least two of you. A scene occurred to me. It was like from the last the Deathly Hallows Harry Potter movie. Remember when Voldemort, how he felt when each of those little relics got destroyed, and at the end it was just him and his snake, and he was like, "Come," I think what was the snake's name, Nagili or something. Started with an N and it had like a G or a J in it, and he's like, "Come, I must keep you close to me now." Um, if you remember that scene, it's what comes to mind when I think of how Heimglimmer's ghoul would be right now. Gathering his
Yeah.
remaining the Schwarzguard, the Blackguard, the Neo Berkhoon, once numbered 13, and now there are, but by your count, by your reckoning, there are only 4 remaining, and you've seen 3 of them. So yeah, he's trying to gather his power.
We slaughtered a few of them.
Did 4 in the It's a Lock storage unit facility. 2 more outside and I had to look this up again, the columbarium, right? The area with all the urns of the
Well,
deceased.
technically, we didn't kill anybody there. Didn't the cops kill him?
Yeah, I didn't
One of
murder.
them. Shep, you definitely cleaved one of the skulls asunder with an overhead strike.
Well, he shouldn't have done what he did.
Remember, he
Out
was
of
the one that
self-defense.
he was the one that got
I
you
was
riled up.
defending my girlfriend.
He said he would kill you fast, and then he looked at David and he said, "I will kill her slowly." And
he got clobbered
that was almost
with
like
a duffel bag
that was the
full of crap.
that was the turning point.
He
right
messed
there.
around and he found out.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know what? I wonder. And I'm looking at the OBS feed, and like something doesn't look quite right with the die roller. I only see two rows of die rolls. I know what it is. Fantasy
Any more
Ground.
dice on there?
No, Fantasy Grounds moved the die rolling. I don't know if you would call it a tray or a parchment up a little bit, because now all the dice are in a
Huh.
row directly under it instead
Oh.
of all the way across the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
It's different, and I bet you can change that. I think there's a way that you can like activate something that lets you drag, click on a corner of that and drag it back to where it is. But I'm just, I don't feel lucky enough to mess with that right now. So along with the
Oh, you're
chalkboard
right.
missing,
Right-click
I
and
just-
unlock
I
position.
found it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It does have a little if you hover towards the left, just left of the D20, upper left of the D20, a little lock should appear.
I see that. I see that. And yeah, I'll play with a little bit of that repositioning, but right now we're on the front porch of
I'm gonna put them back.
Irwin
I don't like
Revinowitz's
change.
house. You hear startled cries of, "What is that? It's made of dirt." Cries like that. And I want to say the golem roars, but it really can't. Its mouth was just, Jennifer Chapman probably just scooped out a little bit of the dirt of its face to give it the semblance of a mouth and a cute little button nose. It kind of looks like a dark brown gingerbread man, sort of, but its eyes are little pinpoints of fire.
With amazing feet that Sophia recreated.
Really, really nice feet.
He's got
You compare the hands,
shapely
which are
legs
kind of
and feet.
crude. Yeah, little
You know?
little articulated,
Oh.
joints of the toes and cute little toenails. It's just the
I'd
whole thing.
painted it if I could.
It's a whole thing.
If I had the time.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So what is it that you lot would like to do?
So, suggestion, while our wonderful gingerbread man of justice is distracting them, maybe we can use the opportunity to go inside their little corner, find maybe some urns,
Therein
and smash.
is the
We could burn it
rub.
down. The house.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
Because we need to. These guys cannot interfere with our, like you said, what, gingerbread man of justice?
Yes.
Yes, we need to clear a path so he can lead us to where we want to go.
But would putting the place on fire attract too much attention?
Yeah.
maybe we save that for after everything
Mhm.
happens.
Are you concerned about what the neighbors would think?
Not the neighbors, but perhaps cops
And the firemen.
and some firemen finding us in a precarious situation. These darned kids copping into abandoned
It would be
homes.
just imagine the strange call coming into the dispatch. Yeah, 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. Go see the family. Yeah, at 1212, Elm Street. Reports of an 8-foot tall professional wrestler in a rubber gorilla suit, damaging patio
Very
furniture.
muddy suit.
Yeah, damaging patio furniture. You just imagine the strange ways that somebody might describe this, seeing the broad back of this golem as it
That yeah,
walks.
that is a point. The cops are probably on their way.
So therein is the rub to a certain degree. The corner that you would wish to go, it'd be hard to get there without being in sight of at least the number of cultists that are out on the front
Yeah.
area.
I was going to ask, is that lawn or is that actual
Grass.
like shrubs?
It's grass.
It
It's
is
not
grass.
shrubs.
Okay.
There are, I don't know, are they? No, they're not poplars. There is a decorative plant that grows straight up, and it's great for like lines that form a hedge, and
Hmm.
the leaves are almost like fern-like, and they grow up. It might be some sort of a coniferous, kind of like
Yeah.
a pine, but it has no pine cones, and they just go straight up,
Oh,
and
like
they reach
cedar
maybe
or the
it's
North American cedar.
yeah,
I forget what it's called.
it's not. I mean, I would classify it more as a bush than a tree, but it does have a trunk. But it just grows enormously straight and just has such great cover. These leaves
It's just
that
it's
make
not
it puffy.
holly bushes.
It's I mean, you could fall into it, and it's flexible too. It has no thorns or piercing
That's what I said. At least
leaves.
it's not holly bushes.
No,
That's what
and
I had to grow up around.
I mean, you can grab
Those
the.
things hurt.
I used to have some that were in like the front of one of my houses. You can grab it, and
Mm.
it's flexible. You know, you can sort of pull it a little bit. Um,
So it's possible we might be able to sneak over, get on the other side of this line of bushes.
sure, it's possible. It's possible if you occupied that 8 inches to perhaps a foot of space between
Yeah.
the planking of the fence and the row of these closely grown, close together, forming a line of these bushes. It's possible. Might require some good lucky rolls, maybe some bad luck on my part. It's
I think
eminently possible. I think it would
that's
be a slow move, a slow go, as you're
yeah.
sidling up sideways with your back to this planking of this 6 foot tall privacy fence.
So I guess the point right now is, do we just confront and get the surprise attack in, or try to sneak around? What do you two think?
You know, I remember we came pretty decently prepared. I feel like we did pack a bag of battle goodies before we came here. So maybe we should just let's be a little confident. Maybe we can go join our gingerbread man of justice up
Let's go
against these
stomp some
guys.
Nazis.
We should go
Stop
for some
stop the Nazis.
confrontation because I don't think our gingerbread man is going to last that long. He's made of mud.
He is
Yeah.
made of mud,
He's
and he
made of
currently
mud.
went through a pool,
Yeah.
so I don't know how far along his integrity is.
Mhm.
So let's help him out.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, it's been compromised a bit by the fact that he lost 2 legs and then had them put back together after the ritual was completely cast. But I'm going to try real hard not to have it asked, "Do you know the Muffin Man?" So that'll be hard. It's just a clever scene from the Shrek movie with
Do you know the Muffin Man?
with the gingerbread man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Yeah, so, and then you do hear bang, 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 unmistakable sound of
Ooh.
3 rounds being fired through a silencer. But y'all are close enough that it's apparent to you that there is gunfire somewhere up in that upper left northwest quadrant of Irvin Revinowitz's property.
Okay.
You know, confidence is suddenly going down a notch. But
Hang on.
you know,
You got to hang on.
I can't even say YOLO anymore. I, this is the second time living. Let's do it again. Let's go at it. Wow! Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness.
The golem is working hard.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Do we have a? We'll lock tokens just because it's going to be a step by step. Would any of you like to move?
Mm-hmm.
I see that Ava has activated a move, but is still in the same square.
Oh, I clicked on myself. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm just looking to see what I have on my person.
Scars. Lots of scars.
Yeah,
Bruises.
fair. She has many a bruise, some scars here and there. Has been through quite a bit, man. College is wild, y'all.
Yeah.
I remember I have a little water gun pistol. I have my sling with salt bombs and iron bullets, little sling bullets. So, I mean, I will gear up as well as I can, and I'm just gonna, you know, look at my friends. Let's help our golem. These people are really bad, and we can't let them get away with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There
Bang!
a
Bang!
way I can use thievery to like lock this door
Mm.
of this house? Like I guess reverse lockpick kind of thing?
Do you want to open the door? It's
I
locked.
want to. Oh, it's already locked.
Yeah.
How do I? I'm thinking of ways to keep it locked because I'm figuring if these two want to like hop out of a window, that might just slow them down instead of running out the door.
Uh,
I just want to keep them in
Oh, in
Oh,
the top left corner.
the what? There's two in the house we're right beside, right? Or just
no.
one?
you three are on the front porch of the
Mm-hmm.
main house in the lower right-hand corner, the
Right.
southeast corner. You have not opened.
Yeah.
You have opened neither
Oh,
the front door nor the side door. Although
okay.
you have looked in and you
Mm-hmm.
see a kitchen area and a living space. Very neat.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
neat. All the
I
action
thought we
with the
looked in there
cultists
before.
and where the golem seems to be attenuated towards is up in the northwest corner. The beach house or the pool house or the guest house, way up in that upper left corner, is where the
Okay.
cultists are, and that is where the golem is heading. You see no movement looking through the front windows towards into let me enter mask mode and let me remove a little of the mask. You see a hallway in this, and you see no movement of,
Okay.
from any of the areas uh, deeper
Mm.
I
into this.
misremembered. I got it
That's
confused. I
okay.
thought
Oh,
they
absolutely.
were like
It's
down there.
it's been a while since we played, and um, yeah.
So we haven't done any exploring in this particular area. We just peeked in.
I have
But
unmasked a fair amount of this main house, and
yeah.
it is whisper still.
Well, do you want to go inside here, or should we go up to help the golem?
I'm going up to help the golem.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's where we need to go.
Same. Now, do we have the protection from Shep, or
That
No,
was
do
cast,
we
right?
not?
it
Oh,
was
I
not
remember
cast.
it.
It was not cast. Although at the end of the last game, we looked up, and the protection ritual does not take a 10-minute preparation time. It is only, by the Swade rule set, one power point casting, which means you can do it and in as few as 30 seconds. In other words, those 5 rounds, you can complete it. Or sooner. You've done, at least on 2 occasions, you've had a ritual completely cast by the second round. With people
Yeah.
helping, a couple of good rolls, some dice that ace. But no,
Well,
you did not. That you had a tea ritual cast upon you earlier. That is long since
okay,
dissipated.
that must be what I'm remembering.
Yeah, yeah. And that
I
that
will.
provided 1 point.
well,
I
the
would
golem lasts 5 rounds.
Oh,
suggest we at least try to get it because they have guns.
yeah.
The two in the uh, columbarium did, and you know that at least one of these does because you've heard a silenced round go off about 5 times.
So I'd at least like to try.
I am cool with that. I'm prone to getting hurt to everything, so I'll take it.
You all missed.
Uh,
The golem roll an agility check and score a
mm,
17. That was all those dice hitting the table.
I
You,
saw. I was like, oh Lord.
you hear glass shattering and yells of fright, agitation, and dismay. Human voices. Shep, would you like to commence casting the protection
Yeah.
ritual? You dig into your pack and you pull out of your backpack a small square of well-worn leather wrapped with some baling wire.
And that's just a ritualism cast, right?
Occult. It's going to take.
Well, it's basically when it renamed everything. I've got a ritualism occult roll.
Yeah, I think ritualism became occult. I may have
Yeah.
that. I may have that reversed. I don't know, but I think it's all occult, and it's essentially you need to make 5 successes in 5 rounds. You can be
Okay.
helped at any time by anybody with a support role. The support role
Okay.
of occult is generally the best way to help, but
Mhm.
there are other ways to help. In other words, other skills that you could describe to me how they apply. Round 1, trying to cast a ritual of protection. Sophia or Ava, would you care to aid your comrade? You know this is a fast casting. This is not one that requires you to burn sage and purify an area and clean the dust out to make a nice pristine circle and light candles and burn incense. Maybe ring some little bells and make a nice little, like a little tinkling sound. None of that. This is basically straight up. He starts rolling within the 6-second increment. You can help.
I would like to do my jack of all trades to change out my survival to occult, so that I can help him with occult stuff. If
I think that is
possible.
Yeah, I think that's a smarts roll, and on a success, you get a D4, and on a success with a raise, you get that skill at a D6, which is nice.
Yay!
A success. Would you like to Benny that and try to get that extra double plus good, or just keep it as a?
I think I'm gonna hold it for just the 4. I'll keep the 4.
You now have access to the occult skill.
Perfect. And I will use that to assist him.
Okay, you did that sort of this round. So, Sophia, would you like to help Shep in this first round?
I'd like to use persuasion to start. Just some encouragement. You know, you've done this before. You can do this again. And you can hurry it up a little bit, too.
You could always use intimidation. Tell him you're going to wreck his truck.
I'm trying to be a different Sophia. I'm trying to be a better Sophia.
You just did it like an hour ago.
I'm always trying to be a better Sophia.
You can use persuasion.
To be fair, between Sophia and Erica, I'm not sure Shep thinks that his truck's going to make it for the entire college year.
Erica just scares you. Erica's crazy, and you never really know what she's going to do. At least Sophia's a little more predictable and in that sort of classification, that manner. But sure, Sophia, I'd love you to help Shep with a successful persuasion roll.
Yeah.
On a raise, you
Here
could
we
give
go.
him a 5 as a success.
That's good. I like a
It's
5.
too funny.
And let me just pull up. Let's make sure that Shep is still suffering from a level
Yeah.
of fatigue
Fatigue. Yeah, it's on
Of
there.
course.
due to that very restless night's sleep.
I don't assume we carry just like a kit just for Shep in case he's feeling tired or sick or
That's right.
needs some kind of pill.
He's got a
We
monster.
did there for a little while.
He's got a
Did have a first
monster
aid kit.
a monster drink, 2 of those. Oh, what were those 2 little pills that you could take that equaled a cup of coffee to give
Monster,
you?
maybe some
Oh, that was
Gatorade,
a long.
Joe.
Oh, no.
anti-nausea,
What
Some
was that?
surge.
allergy meds,
Oh,
ibuprofen. You know,
I'm
just to
gonna have
cover all
to
your bases.
what
gonna
kind
have to become Erica's nurse underling, like with all
Yeah.
these shenanigans.
Yeah,
This poor
Erica.
boy.
Erica has access to the supply closet at the Golan County Memorial Hospital. Now
I'm sure we used it.
she has that.
Oh my gosh.
What is that? That hindrance. It's like code of conduct or code of ethics or code of honor, which she wouldn't steal from it. But she often talks about how she has to organize that sort of stuff. Okay, so it's a roll at +1. Shep, if you would like to make that first roll, we were round 1, 0 success. Oh my gosh, a couple 6s
Nice.
and a 5. Okay. So the aid that Sophia provided sort of cancels out that -1 for your fatigue. Straight up roll of an 11. Success with a raise, which makes 2 successes in 1 round. You hear more glass breaking. We go to the second round of your attempted casting, and both of the gals are free to contribute if they wish.
I will use my occult to try and assist. I got a 5.
Being a wild card or a player character in the Savage Worlds rule set, the menu, is nice because you get a wild card or a wild die, a d6 that you toss along with every other sort of skill check or attack roll, etc. It's nice because you get to pick the higher of the 2. I don't know what your d4. Oh, your d4 came up a 1, as it says your trait roll was a natural 1, but that wild die pulled through. You rolled a 5. You're going to provide Shep with a +1 to his roll. Sophia, what would you like to do?
I would like. Could I use thievery? Basically, I just want to.
Steal Shep's heart?
No. What was I gonna
He
say?
has a lot of medical problems, Sophia.
He does have a lot of medical problems.
Besides, your boyfriend already is jealous.
He has nothing to be jealous of.
I forgot about that. Lenny. He is.
He's fine. We're fine.
His attitude
Sophia's
is
just got her issues. It's a Sophia problem, not a Shep thing.
he's pretty sure that Sophia and Shep are not knocking boots. He thinks that Shep is sort of that annoying younger brother that no matter what you do,
True.
he's always there.
It's the sibling thing.
He's the
You
one
can't
that
get rid of him.
when Lenny would be trying to steal a kiss on the front porch after the date, Shep would be standing just inside the door, turning the porch light, not just on, but on and off and on and off and on and off, to make a strobe effect.
Well, you
So-
know who would put Shep up to that, though, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Erica definitely would. Mir would have double.
Mir, yeah.
Yeah.
Mir would definitely. It's like,
Yeah.
no, not my sisters.
Mir would be like,
Oh, Mir.
please wait until I can record this. Maybe it will be useful to bribe Sophia later. So.
Taking a whole photo.
But you wanted to use thievery, and I'm curious as to how the thieving skill may apply.
What if I promised Shep that I could steal him a new car? Well, maybe not. Not. It's encouragement in a more underhanded way, I guess.
You're willing to commit a felony and possibly go to prison, grand theft auto, for Shep.
You know, commitment is strong in this family.
Yes,
It's almost like
we're
okay. I
committed.
mean, just because I'm feeling significantly benevolent, I'll let you roll this, but I'm going to warn you that
Okay. Yes.
if you crit fail this,
Oh.
the entire ritual cast is going to fail. You will have
Oh.
so unnerved him and distracted him. But I'm willing to let the fantasy grounds dice
Sounds like I unnerved the DM.
Well, you know, it's always
More
possible.
than I did Shep.
Under the East Texas University rule set,
He got Shep clutching his pearls.
crime,
Shep's over there like, I married into this family.
assault, murder, your character can end up going to prison for a very long time. Maybe doing your studies behind bars, as it were.
Maybe just a skateboard.
But if you want to sort of I don't know, kind of go around and just sort of whisper some Grand Theft Auto nothings into his ear, using sort of the language of the criminal underworld element.
I will commit felonies for my friend.
That very seedy and unsavory sect of society, and just more than a hint of illegality.
You
a great deal of illegality.
More than what it is. I'm just gonna roll it. There we go.
Oh! That bubblegum pink.
Success.
I saw that natural one again in the dice roll. The trait roll was a natural one, but you managed to get a success. And, yeah, that's going to be in total a +2 to Shep's roll.
Okay. I will Benny that.
Okay, you can include that +2 bonus again, and maybe Alan will kick in on this reroll.
Yeah. I didn't do the +2 because I forgot to put it down there, so that should be a 8.
Success with a raise?
Or no, 7. Or no, an 8. Yeah, an 8.
An 8 is a success with a raise. I see 2 successes. I see
that'd be 4.
4 successes. Did you get just a success or a success with a raise?
I got.
We were at 1 and 1. Now we're at 3 successes after 2 rounds. And yeah, you're sweating.
We should be at 4 successes now, right?
Got to raise.
Because I got 11 the last time, and this would be 8.
I see it. You're right. An 11 and an 8. 4 successes, 2 rounds. I will casually mention that if this is the round that you succeed upon, and if you succeed at all, this is going to be the round that gives you the 5th success. How successful you are this round determines whether it is a success that gives you a +2 effect, or successful raise that gives you +4 to the effect. And I think the ruling that seemed to be agreeable was, I'm trying to remember how we did the castings upon multiple recipients, and there was a way that we devised that made a lot of sense. Doesn't normally stack. Additional recipients +1, 1 power point each. I'm trying to remember. When do you remember how we did this?
I have under the little toughness box, I have my previous things where it's just like extra protection and
right.
protection.
I'm just trying to remember when we cast a ritual. It's like the last round that gives you the success determines its power when you want to add extra trappings on top of it, like multiple recipients. I'm sure he wants to cast it on all 3 of you. So let's say that he succeeds with a raise. You know what? I think not to belabor the point, I'll just come up with something that just kind of feels right. Let's see, an extra. an extra power point.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember the costs.
yeah. You know what I'll do? We'll determine.
Yeah,
I'll
and
let
this
I'll let
basically
I'll let you.
goes into my hindrance too. His vow to keep them safe.
In a manner of speaking, I would agree. I think what we're going to do is we're going to see what the roll is, and if it's a raise, you'll get the +4, and if it's just a regular success, you'll get the +2. And I'm going to say for every pip on the die above what you needed to get this to succeed, for every pip, you can add a recipient.
Okay.
Because by the spell rules, it's like for every 1 power point, you can pick an additional. A power point is about the same as a success point because
Yeah.
you got to exceed 4 or 5. So sure, we'll enter round 3. You hear the sundering of wood and metal and cries of "Master, Master, protect us!"
Oh boy.
Sophia, how would you like to help, if at all? Don't have to.
I know. I need to remember we're family.
And you're
We're
kind of in that friend sandwich formation as well.
Yeah.
So
Sophia's gonna pull out like a paint pen out of her pocket and start scribbling on the house. Basically, images of the 3 of us encased in a magical shield. And she thinks that if she helps some way, this is going to contribute to the magic. She is sure of this.
what?
This is going to
visual
happen.
representation.
Performance. Yeah.
Okay.
This is what you need to do, Shep.
Yeah, I've seen it done before, and this is how it works, right?
I will allow that.
This is how you can see the magic happening.
Yeah, in your I see in your backpack you had a little bit of paint that you'd brought because you were going to show Mary Lynn the kind of artwork that you could do for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day sale.
Oh yeah,
that
she's
gonna
always
have.
prepared.
So you probably have some nice shades of green, maybe a Kelly green, and then a dark forest green for shading. So yeah, let's make a roll and let's see. Would you like to paint upon a window or upon the wall itself?
Right on the wall.
Okay.
Just
Wow.
the graffiti.
That's a whole lot of successes. That looks like a success with a raise. That looks like you've provided a +2 to Shep's next roll. And Ava, what would you like to do, if anything?
I would like to provide some well, I still have a colt because I I'm having a brain fart and I can't remember if I could use the same one or not.
You cannot unless you want to use a cult. You can always use a cult to support an occult roll to help somebody else cast a ritual. The other ones, it's more fun when you mix them up. It's really no fun for the dean when you pick your highest scored die skill and keep spamming it every time. I got 4s and everything. I got
Let me spam.
I've got 4s and everything except boating. Can I use boating again? No, no fun.
Oh my gosh.
No fun.
Well, then, if it's all right, then I will use a cult since I did spend a round remembering the details so that I can help him out with it. So, a cult it is under the Jack of all trades. Oh no, we're gonna Benny that. I'm here to support my wizard boyfriend. That did not work out in my favor. One more time.
I keep seeing these
for
ones.
Good measure.
I keep seeing these ones.
Come on, yay!
They're a success, and in fact, 3 is the maximum bonus that you can provide to Chef.
You can do it, Ava.
And
thank you.
Oh,
Thank
isn't
you.
that nice? Chef, why don't you make that roll right now, and then we'll stop this recording.
Okay.
As we're just a shimmy over an hour, and we'll start.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay. And 11. I see the +2. The +3 was levied. That's wonderful. And 11. So an 8 would have been a raise, and that leaves 3 pips left over, right?
Yeah.
An 8.
Just enough.
An 8 gives you that sweet +4. And then 9 and 10 are the 2 pips that give you those 2 additional recipients. So in a way, you have that one little pip on one of the dice left over as an overachievement, perhaps. But you've successfully cast that ritual. You've succeeded in like less than 20 seconds, right? About 18 seconds, 3 rounds, 5 successes, more than 5 successes actually, because you succeeded with a raise.